This is the MyHouse mod for Doom 2, played on a Windows PC. I have this game on other systems, but I recently bought it again on Steam, just so I could play some of the mods for the game. Apparently they've been building these for the past 20 years and I wasn't paying attention. Based on the quality of this mod, I really need to pay more attention. First, you can load this mod in correctly. You don't just run a simple WAD file. Don't just run a WAD file. You need to load the PK3 file onto gzdoom.exe. I find dragging and dropping is the best way to go. When you start using mods, this will make sense. There are plenty of videos out there that describe this mod in some pretty explicit detail. I'm just going to touch some of the basics. In general, it's described as being pretty scary, and in some ways this actually feels a little bit like the book House of Leaves, which is a horror novel that I actually read a few years back. It actually was a really good book. I think there are definitely some similarities between the two. Now, you can get this mod from a Google Drive, and there are some supplemental materials that are offered with it. I think there's a text file that describes what's going on and a little bit of a backstory. Honestly, it's all really well done. You can really get into this, whether it's the writing, the level, the way it progresses. It's not just a basic Doom level, it's like a bad dream, where things change, logic doesn't always fit, and you really have to figure some things out. Most levels in Doom you can hammer your way through, if you have enough ammunition to do so. But you really can't do that here. There was a bit more thought put into this one. So much, actually, that if you were to enter in even the standard cheat codes, you're going to get custom message responses. God mode does work, but it also gives you little clues at the top of the screen. It's pretty interesting. So I started playing this game, and honestly it did cause me to jump a few times as I played. The basic foundation for the game is we have a house, go figure. You can walk around the house, you can look in the windows, and you can go through into the house with the front door or the garage. You need to clear out the house and get the keys. This is like a normal Doom level. But when you get the blue key here, you can actually lower the blue fence behind you that is there when you start the level. And you can get to level 2 of Doom 2. This is the level Underhalls. At the end of that level, though, it loops you back to level 1 again, and it will reset certain progress that you might have made in the game. The one thing that is extra with this mod is that you're also trying to collect 16 objects throughout the house. But the house is more than one simple footprint that you start with. So finding these objects, it isn't easy. You have to know where they are, what they are, and in certain ways the order that you need to try and get them. I don't think it's an exact explicit order, but if you progress through certain levels the wrong way, you could be forced to go through the level Underhalls again. And when that happens, it resets the objects you already picked up. I lost a lot of objects this way. The first time you go through the house, you kill all the creatures, and you gather 3 keys. You're going to find yourself outside, possibly headed towards that blue fence. Well, you should probably skip it and just run around the house. And if you do, you're going to notice all the creatures inside the house have respawned. I could see a purpose for you going to Underhalls, which is level 2. You can get the double-barrel shotgun there, which is nice. So, you might end up going there once. So you'll get that. Great. After you head back inside, you're going to see all the creatures, and you'll notice a slight change. Something is just a tiny bit different now. Maybe it's a new decoration, something. It just feels off. Being that you just went through the house, you should know the layout and where the keys generally are. But now those keys have been replaced with skull keys, and then eventually you're going to find things are very different. Like a new door that goes into the attic. I don't know what it is exactly about this. I imagine it's a combination of things, but suddenly finding a new door that leads to a whole new section kinda got my heart pounding. I had headphones in at first, and that probably helped to ramp up some of the excitement, because the music really pushes you along. So you're going to be going through this same house, or at least this basic layout, multiple times. But each time, there's sort of a different variation. Certain items are going to be available on certain variants, and some doors exist in places that others don't exist. Some of these areas, the space doesn't actually fit into the floor plan of the house, which is pretty awesome to experience and caught me off guard the first time. So the variants, some are going to be super obvious, and then eventually you're dimension hopping, or at least that's the best description for it. Then you're not in the house at all, and I mean, at one point I arrived at an airport. That really threw me for a loop. So there are a few different endings to this mod. I think there are 3, and they're all interesting enough, and they're worth experiencing. It's actually something I would consider scary. This particular mod was really awesome. I didn't consider the original Doom game to be that scary, but this one, yeah, it definitely kicks it up a notch. I think the music and the sound effects work really well here. They sort of warp and change over time, and you get these sound effects that pop up in all the right places. Some are going to make you stop and look around like you missed something, and others might make you not want to open a door. But you have to, because there's nowhere else to go. Overall, it plays like Doom. It is Doom, so you know what you're getting in that regard. But the way the level unfolds, it's not exactly a level. It's like its own game entirely, almost. It's this crazy puzzle. It shifts, and it changes, and it's kind of unpredictable that way, and it's a bit more intense than I would have imagined. Once you've gone through it, it certainly isn't quite as shocking. But that first time you're going through, if you're not using walkthroughs and a total cheat, it's going to be an experience. I even think after a while, I played this for hours, and then eventually I turned on God mode because I wanted to see what the ending was like. It got really difficult. But even with God mode, it took some doing to get through this. So if you're interested for a good horror experience, I think it's worth getting a copy of this game for the PC just so you can run the mod. I got this on Steam explicitly for this mod, and I have to say, totally worth it. I really loved this experience, and I hope whoever created this is working on another one, because this was a ton of fun. Well, that's all I have today for the MyHouse mod for Doom 2. Thanks for stopping by to take a look, and hope to catch you on another video.